So this lady walks in, and she's the transporter. She has red, green, and pink hair, which threw me off right away because at the hospitals, I had never seen anyone like that. And if I ever did see someone like that, I wouldn't have expected them to act and say the things that this lady said to me. So she comes in, she doesn't even introduce herself or say her name. She just looks at me dead in my eyes with my dad sitting right next to me. And she says,
"This young man was right on the edge of life and death when an angel walked into his room. And not only did she look like something no one was expecting, but she actually gave him a physical object and ended up praying over him. This is one of the most fascinating supernatural testimonies you'll ever hear." Watch this.
What I'm about to say might be hard for some people to believe, but this is the true story in my testimony of my angelic encounter that I experienced last spring that delivered me and healed me from brain cancer. So quick backtrack. In winter of last year, October 2024, I found out I had a brain tumor in the center of my head, around my pituitary gland and my brainstem. We eventually found a neurosurgeon at a university hospital that knew he could do his best to get it out. So the first surgery I had was in December of last year. It was called a craniotomy, where this scar right here, that's what he did. He took off a piece of my skull to go around, maneuver around the brain, and take out as much tumor as he possibly could. And through the first surgery I had, they got roughly 60% of it out, but I got infected. So 1 month later in January, I had a second surgery because I had facial paralysis on the right side of my face due to all the pus and buildup from the infection. So they took out the skull again and just drained all the pus out. Third surgery I had was through my nose. They just drilled up through my nose and pushed aside as much as they could to get the remainder of the tumor out. There's just a little bit of a sliver that they left in there. And that's where this story begins. So 2 weeks after I was in recovery from my third surgery, I was still pretty much on bed rest and not able to do too much, just because these surgeries take a lot out of my body each time I do them. I mean, it's literally your head getting cut open. So there was one night I only slept an hour, which was really, really strange because my recovery throughout this entire process, I had been sleeping for at least 12 hours, if not 15 or 16 hours every single night to recover from these surgeries. But this specific night, I only slept for an hour, and I don't know why. So I woke up early in the morning, and I just knew I couldn't go back to bed. So I just went out and did what I was doing at that time, which was essentially just sitting on the couch, going for walks throughout the day as much as I could to recover. And I lived through the entire day. I was awake the entire day until like roughly 6 or 7 at night. And at that point, I was trying to go to bed, trying to sleep on the couch. And all of a sudden, I just couldn't feel my lower body at all. Like my legs went completely numb. I had no control over what they were doing, and I started to freak out. I was with my family and my parents at the time, and I was telling my dad, of course it was April Fool's Day, so he thought I was messing around. I was telling him, I said, "Dad, my legs are numb. I can't feel them." And he brushed it off and said, "You should just go to bed. You haven't slept at all. That's probably just a side effect from one of your surgeries." So that's what I ended up doing. So I walk upstairs, I try to go to sleep, and within probably 2 or 3 minutes, my body starts violently jerking. Like my shoulder starts kicking out and back like this on both sides. My legs start jolting up and down and side to side. It looked like a scene from The Exorcist or The Conjuring, like a horror film. It looked like I was physically possessed by something. I had no control over any of my limbs. And that's when we really started to freak out. So I called my dad upstairs. I was like, "Dad, I can't control anything in my body right now. Every single thing is twitching. My toes are twitching. My legs are twitching. My hands are twitching. My arms are twitching. I cannot control any movement that's going on right now." And after he watched me do this for maybe 2 or 3 minutes, he realized I actually wasn't fooling around. And he got me in the car and we drove to the hospital. Keep in mind, it is pouring rain when we're driving to this hospital. And we didn't want to go to one that was close within 5 or 10 minutes because they didn't have the neurosurgery team that was working on me. So my dad took me in the car for probably 45 minutes to get to this hospital. We get to the university hospital. We just skirt up on the emergency room, like the ER area on the curb. And we open the door in the pouring rain. I just fall out of the passenger seat, and then 3 or 4 people come up and help me into a wheelchair, and they bypass all the check-in steps to get into the ER, and they're just pushing me through all the double doors to get to a room and try to see what's happening. Because we thought I was having a seizure. I mean, that's what I thought was going on too. I couldn't control any part of my body. I didn't know what seizures were like, so that's what I assumed it was. We get into the hospital room. They're strapping me down. There are literally like 5 or 6 nurses that are holding me down, trying to get an injection in my arm because they need to put something in my arm, but I can't hold still for them to do it. So they're literally just gripping me with their hands as hard as they can. They strap me in and they put something in my arm. I forgot what the actual medication was called, but it basically made me feel really woozy and drunk. But it stopped my compulsions in my body from jerking violently. And at that point, I was so dejected because I thought I had just had a seizure. I thought I wasn't going to be able to drive for 6 months. I thought this was a setback and I would be in another brain cancer, brain surgery operation within a few hours. So my faith was at its absolute lowest. And I was going through all these tests that you do when you obviously get rushed through the ER out of nowhere. They have to make sure everything is right or everything is wrong. And at the ER, or at hospitals in general, they have people that are called transporters, and basically what their job is to wheel these people when you're laying in the hospital bed between rooms. So whether you're in the ER room or your normal ICU room or normal room in general, they just take you between those rooms and the imaging rooms like CAT scans, MRIs, things like that. So this lady walks in and she's the transporter. She has red, green, and pink hair, which threw me off right away because at the hospitals I had never seen anyone like that. And if I ever did see someone like that, I wouldn't have expected them to act and say the things that this lady said to me. So she comes in, she doesn't even introduce herself or say her name. She just looks at me dead in my eyes with my dad sitting right next to me. And she says, "Honey, you look like you've been through a lot over the past few months. Do you want to tell me about it?" I was like, okay. I mean, I'm a little dejected right now, but sure, I'll tell you my story. So I was telling her about how many times I've been to the ER, which I had lost track of, how many brain surgeries I had had. And she so calmly just says, "Honey, you haven't had the right person pray over you yet." And I just chills down my body. I was like, what is going on? Is this lady about to pray for me at the hospital? This is insane. What do you mean I haven't had the right person pray over me yet? Who are you? So I was just at a loss for words. Even telling this story right now, it still gives me chills because it was so supernatural. So this lady wheels me from my room in the ER to the CAT scan room, just outside the room to where the people in there couldn't see her praying over me. And she recites James chapter 5 word for word without even looking at anything. She laid hands on me, and I'll read it for reference. So it's James chapter 5, verse 13 through 16. "Is anyone among you in trouble? Let them pray. Is anyone happy? Let them sing songs of praise. Is anyone among you sick? Let them call the elders of the church to pray over them and anoint them with oil in the name of the Lord. And the prayer offered in faith will make the sick person well. The Lord will raise them up. If they have sinned, they will be forgiven." And this lady praised that over me, and she said, "Sweetheart, you are going to be okay. You're going to be completely fine after this." So I'm just sitting there taking in this moment with tears streaming down my face. It usually is hard to make me emotional like that, but I just felt God telling me that this lady was put here to pray over you, and you are going to be completely fine and healed after this process. So after I'm done with my CAT scan, this lady wheels me back into my room with my dad. And in front of me and my dad, she pulls out this card from her pocket, like just right here. There was one of them. There was only one in there. And what it says is, "A hug for you. Here is a hug you can hold in your hand, a token of love, so you'll understand that even though now we may be apart, the very best hugs happen deep in our heart." And what she said to me and my dad was, "You're never going to see me again, but just know that your son is going to be okay. I laid hands on him. I prayed over him. He's going to be okay in the name of Jesus." And she left the room, and me and my dad were looking at each other, just like completely shocked, because both of us knew, like we just both knew that that person might not have been a person. We fully believed on the drive home that she was an angel. The fact that we didn't get her name, the fact that she gave me a card to remember her by, and that she had red, orange, and pink hair, it was insane, completely insane. And then the next day, they sent us the results from all of the various tests that they did on me because they determined I didn't have a seizure that night. So I had no epilepsy, no seizures, and then the pathology results came back. I didn't have a type of cancer that we originally thought I had going into that third surgery. We didn't have the chordoma. I got diagnosed with a chondrosarcoma, which is a very low grade tumor that doesn't spread as quickly as some of the malignant ones. And me and my dad both knew. Like, we just both knew that this lady completely anointed me and prayed over me. And from here on out, I wanted to make it my mission to spread the gospel as much as I can, because I don't believe God would keep me alive or give me an experience like that for nothing. So that's what I'm going to do.
You can just feel the presence of God there on that testimony. Sure enough, that young man is preaching the gospel all over the place now. His TikTok has exploded. He's reaching so many souls, and it's so glorious. Of course, it is written in Hebrews 13:2, don't forget to show hospitality to strangers. For some who have done this have entertained angels without knowing it. Listen, you may not have exactly the same testimony as this young man. You may not have been in the ER and witnessed an angel walk through the doors, but I'm actually here to tell you that there have been so many more angels in your life than you realize. Every single one of you. Ask me how I know. I saw the spiritual world when I left my body 4 years ago. I saw the countless angels that interact with our lives in so many ways that we don't realize. Getting home safe is such an underrated blessing. Listen, if you're wondering if you've ever had a miracle in your life, just look at the fact that you're still alive, because seriously, angels every single day are working on your behalf. And sometimes you may see them with your physical eyes. Sometimes they may just look like a person. They may even appear as an animal. They may appear as something so ordinary, but it's not ordinary. Forgive me if you hear my baby crying in the background. He is a supernatural blessing to us. He's a miracle. I love him so much. What an amazing testimony. We are living in very interesting times. We are living in the age of the supernatural. We are living in the age where the veil is being split, where the evidence will become more and more obvious, where no one will even be able to deny that the spiritual realm exists anymore. You know that feeling you have when you've lost your keys or your phone or something super important in the moment, and you're going throughout your entire house, you're retracing your steps, you're asking all your family members to help you out. You're literally doing everything you can just to find the one thing. And then, as you're right on the brink of just giving up, and you're just heading off to the bathroom and washing your hands, you're just doing something random. You put your hands in your pocket, or you look at your wrist and you realize your watch was there the entire time. You realize your keys were in your pocket the entire time. Like, they were much closer to you than you realized. Like, as hard as you were looking, yet it was there the entire time. It was there, yet you never saw it. I'm here to tell you, the spiritual realm is always there. And whether or not you think it's surrounding you, it is. But even deeper than that, whether or not you see God with your physical eyes, whether or not you see Jesus with your physical eyes, I'm here to tell you, he is so much closer than you realize. So I invite you today, will you walk with him? Will you turn your face to him? Turn from your own ways. Say, hey, Jesus, what's going on? Talk to him today. You can know him, not just know about him, not just even claim to know him. How about you know him? Subscribe to this channel if you'd like more biblical, supernatural content. I love you guys. Peace.